Welcome. This will be our video in regards to Module 1 for our Intro to Humanities course. And I'm going to look at the screen here and try and guide you through how this first actual module goes. And if you click on the content section of D2L, you'll find the Module 1. But in our news page, I'll give you some directions, post some videos, and some different information in regards to how these things occur. And no need to get frustrated with the process. This course is just going to introduce and cover things as if this is like the tip of the iceberg. There's no way we can cover answering the questions, what are the humanities in, say, an hour-long class. And so what I want you to think about these modules are just snapshots to give you an idea of what each of the modules are about. There's 14 different modules, 14 different subjects, touching on what the humanities are. And that'll help us find things that we're interested in and enjoy things that we didn't know existed that may be new to us. And so all these will be, this first module, by the way, will be due by the end of the second week. And what that means is I need you to go ahead and do this module so that I'll have a quiz grade and discussion grade in the books so you know how those things are set up and what the expectations are. The 300 words for the discussion post, 350 words is as needed. Make sure you read the syllabus requirements, the directions, and for posting by starting a new thread. You will not be able to see your other students' work until you start a new thread, and then you'll be able to see theirs. You need to reply to 2 others in 50 words, which means 50 words in one reply and 50 words in another reply. And all of this writing means we're not going to have an essay to write as another assignment, but we get enough going on there. This will be a discussion, so it's like a participation grade, but you do need to do the research, and then it helps you to lock in the information to understand what you're reading and reading other people's thoughts on the research that I provide for you, which consists of many different things. And so refer the syllabus, refer to the directions, refer to the course schedule, and each week I'm going to post the syllabus schedule for the week for you as well. So at least once a week you'll see me in a news page. I'll try to post and update some videos as this goes along and give you some instruction that way. But as always, please email me. Enjoy the process and just explore these different humanities together. So Module 1 is going to be found in content section of D2L like the rest of the modules. And Module 1 discusses what are the humanities and what are strong sources. We're going to look at primary sources as a part of our study in this class. Instead of just listening to secondary sources, we'll explore what are good, strong sources, primary sources, academic journals, and I use those throughout my class to help teach this and drive the class as our textbook. So there's no textbook to buy as much as there are different materials from the actual original sources as best we can get, and some strong sources through academic journals from PhD level work, and other videos, other documents that help us to explore these topics. And there will be some of these documents that are from universities like Harvard or very high achieving, high level stuff. And so I want you to just read them, expose yourself to them. Remember the midterm and the quizzes are open book, open note, and I'll take them directly from the material and from my lessons. But my PowerPoints are also in there as well to help guide you through some of this material. Remember that the lecture notes are at the bottom of the page. So please remember that you cannot just see the PowerPoints in D2L. You need to download the PowerPoints, view the PowerPoints in D2 in Microsoft PowerPoint, and look at the notes view at my notes below there. So the objectives for our first module are to define the humanities, a number of courses that are considered humanities that one can take while in college, like history is one that is a humanities course. So is art, which typically most people identify humanities with art. art history. Be able to differentiate between courses that are not humanities courses. Sociology courses are not humanities courses. Science classes are not humanities classes. Humanities, in a nutshell, is how we express ourselves as humans, and there are many different ways we do that. That can be through music, literature, art, photography. Poetry is part of literature, architecture, history, philosophy, religions. All those are humanities. But really, what does that mean? So, what I want you to see in the first document you have is the question, what are the humanities? Is a document titled Mapping the Future of Humanities. I've discussed that I only need you to read the first 2 pages and pages 12 through 50. And here you will find between the discussion on the future of humanities and academia, one of the best descriptions I've found of what the humanities are and what they can offer students, offer you. You do not have to read pages 3 through 11 of the Mapping the Future concerning the trends of students taking humanities, but you're welcome to. In essence, what that's talking about is how you can see that in high schools and in colleges, there's been shifts over time between certain what types of courses should be offered, shouldn't be offered, should be offered, should not be offered. For instance, I remember we used to have a shop class, and there used to be an architect, like a welding class, and those are more, for trades and things like that. Those aren't humanities, but are people taking art classes? Are people taking music classes? They would if they're in band per se, but are they? What are colleges offering, and what is the tendencies? That's pages 3 through 11. You don't have to read that, but you're welcome to if you're interested. And then you will also have Friedrich Nietzsche's Apollonian and Dionysian discussion. It's a discussion about two different views and of how the arts and in a sense and how they are expressed, and how sometimes we've lost our way over the centuries in regards to how we express ourselves. So reading the articles, you would need to engage the material through our in-class discussion questions, meaning online. Um, but a quiz will follow soon in the quizzes section, and detail assessing the reading of the syllabus in the articles as well. Now, what is this Mapping the Future of Humanities? That document is the document that, as you'll see, is published. Um, I believe it's by Harvard, as I'm allowing this to pull up on my screen. And instead of me reading this verbatim, I want you to stretch your thinking, stretch your level of your reading, and allow the document to speak for itself. For itself, and in a sense, it's important that we start with understanding what humanities are. So read that document, but also I want you to notice that I have a short document defining what humanities are. What are the humanities? And most of the time our readings are going to be very short like this one. Humanities, in this article, what are the humanities, can be described as, best described as the study of how people process and document the human experience. Since humans have been able, we have used philosophy, literature, religion, art, music, history, and language to understand and record our world. These modes of expression have become some of the subjects that traditionally fall under the humanities umbrella. Knowledge of these records of human experience gives us the opportunity to feel a sense of connection to those who've come before us, as well as to our contemporaries, those who are with us today. And so it goes into detail. Again, you'll be able to look at different definitions of the humanities, and it's only a page and a half long. And so obviously you're going to see a test question, quiz questions in regards to what are the humanities. But not only that, we have, importantly, I think probably more importantly, Friedrich Nietzsche's Apollonian Dionysian dichotomy. It's breaking this Apollonian and Dionysian concept into two. It's based off Greek mythology of Apollo and Dionysus. While the concept is famously related to the birth of the tragedy, poet Holderlin spoke of them before, and Winckelmann talked of Bacchus. And so 1 year before the publication of The Birth of Tragedy, Nietzsche wrote a fragment titled On Music and Words. Entity asserted that Schopenhauerian judgment that music is a primary expression of the essence of everything. Let me pause for a second. I may be mispronouncing some of those words. And I'm not going to be so detail oriented that I'm going to ask you to know specifically who those people are. But you need to understand for the quizzes and the discussion the general sense of what's going on and what they're saying. And so, if music is a primary expression of the essence of everything, secondarily derivative are lyrical poetry and drama, which represent more phenomenal appearances of objects. In this way, tragedy is born from music. And you can sense that there is this expression, that there is this highs and lows and emotion and passion, and there's a sense of intellect and a deep understanding. And if you know something really well, then you can teach it to others. And if you're passionate about it, that passion will come out into you and you will express that and the importance of what you're trying to teach them. So you're recording for them and expressing to them the importance of history and how you've made it come alive. And maybe you've had a professor in the past that made history come alive. But it was about living human beings. It was about the events they went under. And some people are intrigued about, and when it's like reading a book and watching a movie is in a sense, and everything fades away and you're focusing on that event and what's occurring, or watching a play or studying architecture and the awesomeness of the environment in the room. It has expressed itself in its own art form. That is discussing the humanities expression. But this sometimes has been lost throughout the centuries. And so you read this article, and it talks about this juxtaposition between Dionysius and Apollo, the Apollonian and Dionysius juxtaposition. What have we lost, and what do these things mean? And so you'll need to read and understand what the two positions are, Apollos and Dionysius. And this will help us to see that there's a passionate way and a not so passionate way of taking and looking at art, taking and looking at history. And they both have their own forms, but in a sense, if you stay to one side or the other, you'll lose something there. So read that article, try and understand and discuss in the discussion what it actually means, and go from there. What I want you to do is, if you're really struggling with this information, is to email me, and we can have a discussion via email as well. But have your questions ready. Be specific. Let me know which class you're in, which assignment you're talking about. I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. Just try and get a taste through these modules of what I'm trying to expose you to. Don't worry about how deep it is. And we will not walk away an expert from one of these subjects in just one module for 1 week. But let me know if I can help you in any way. Paul at nfc.edu. Have a good day.